What is up, everybody? I am introducing myself by ducking. I'm here with James Ma, aka the legendary Michigan Samus. How are you today?
Feel good, dude.
Is that it? Case of the Mondays?
Yeah, I had a pretty long work week. Or well, work day, I guess.
Okay. I'm like, it's only Monday, man. So, we're here today because we want to get you into the Smash Summit, and the privilege of Melee It On Me is that we support our alumni. So, you're here, you're stuck with me, but I'm pretty sure your fans and the people that don't know who James Ma is want to know a little bit about you. So, I guess to kick things off, what's your favorite ice cream?
My favorite ice cream? It's either pistachio with nuts in it or mint chocolate chip.
Mint chocolate chip. I like mint
Yeah.
chocolate chip too. And then I had Thai iced tea as an ice cream flavor, and it was phenomenally good. So that's my new
I
favorite.
I don't think I've ever had that before.
Oh, dude, the next time you're in LA, I gotta take you to a bunch of food places that you would not get in Michigan.
I'm actually super down. I love food.
So not just Korean barbecue, because although KBBQ is the best in LA, I'll take you everywhere. So I guess outside of Smash, you're probably one of the few people that are in the top 20 that also work or go to school full time. So what do you do um, as your day job?
I'm a brakes engineer at TRW.
What's
I currently
TRW?
or TRW is a they're like an automotive components um, manufacturer and designer. They're split up into a bunch of different sections, but I work for the Foundation Brakes group. So it's like the simpler stuff, right? And specifically I work on heavy duty trucks. And if you ever if you buy a new truck 2019 and you step on the brakes and you don't die, that's me.
So I trust that the brake function made by a Samus main would also wave dash back. It it's natural that a Samus player would build a device that slows things down. Is that correct?
Yeah, every time you press on the brake, you're causing an interaction, and then to be safe, right? You're locking it in place. That's basically the wave dash back.
It's the wave dash back. Although safe play is what keeps people alive on the road, so I have to commend you. So how do you balance all that? How do you go to tournaments? For me, NASA's pretty generous. I get 16 days off a year, plus every other Friday off, and I'm still struggling over vacation time, which has been all used for Smash. How are you managing all that?
So for me, well, luckily I work in automotive. For those of you that don't know how the auto industry works, is white collar is very, very heavily tied to blue collar. And so because of this, we're influenced a lot by national holidays. So I actually have insane amounts of time off. Um, in addition to my 8 vacation days a year. So like for family and stuff, I generally don't have to use vacation days, just because we can usually plan it around holidays. Like winter break, I get like a full week. And so I basically use all of my vacation days for Smash. Holidays I use for family, friends, like personal travel, stuff like that. But I didn't plan my vacation days very well this year. I ran out like 2 months ago, I think, something like that. And so I've had to take like red eye flights, like basically just be dead at work for a day. Like I'll land at 7 a.m. I'll get in my car, I'll change in my car, and then I'll drive to work, and then I will be a zombie basically for 8 hours, and then go home and die.
Dude, I know about that life, man. I did that for I think CEO, one of the CEOs. I red eyed there and then I red eyed back, and it was like the worst experience ever.
Dude, it's so bad. Yeah, I tried doing work. I really, really did. It wasn't happening.
Dude, I can't imagine you doing CAD drawings or anything under that kind of. I can't program. I have to like do something active, or else I'm not functioning. So I
Oh,
guess we
oh,
can take it a step back. I didn't know that an entity named Duck existed until Big House. So, what was your story of getting into Melee?
My story for getting into Melee. One of my friends, two of my friends actually got me into Melee. The first is Moose. I've known him since third grade. I was friends with him and a guy named Bloody Joker, who I don't think anybody knows who he is. He's pretty much retired at the moment. But they got into Melee because Tech Zero was friends with one of their friends' friends. And so it was like, oh my god, this super amazing Melee player is coming, you should just come play. And so I went to a Smash Fest with them. And Tech Zero was destroying everybody with like Kirby. He was like tech chasing with Swallow. And like, it was just insane. And I was relegated to the corner kit setup. I basically only played like Moose and Bloody Joker, and like they got to play with Tech Zero some. I don't think I played him that day. But it was just like I was taught like how to crouch cancel because like everybody else when I was
So
a kid.
you learned the important stuff right away.
Yeah. I learned how to press down on both sticks, and that defined my play style for like a year or two. But like basically, I learned about Smash. I learned that there were tournaments, and so I played for a bit, and then Brawl came out. This was like 2009, and so I was a Brawl player for a short while, and then I got timed out in tournament by Pikachu, and I was done with that game, and I went full Melee.
So a timeout in the early days got you back into Melee. Seems like that's a similar story for a lot of the Michigan players. I remember Joe Guy actually started off as a Brawl kid too.
Yeah, he started like around when I started, which is 2009, 2010. I started like at the end of high school, and he was actually in my aerospace engineering class, aerospace structures. Yeah, introduction to aerospace structures. He dropped out later, but he like handed me a flyer for for a Smash tournament at U of M, so that was pretty cool.
Was that your first ever tournament or what?
No, I went to some like casual tournaments, like library tournaments and stuff like that. Like back in high school, like near the end of it.
Okay, very cool. But it was not until college that you started playing more and more. So
Yeah,
so you started so was Samus your main always, or how did you get to Samus?
I was actually a dual main of Roy and Samus.
Oh no.
Yeah, I liked Roy because he had the fire, you know. Uh, that's really it. I also played a little bit of Puff because I saw King's combo video, and I was just like, oh my god, this character can just press down B and people just die. I was like, that's so sick. And then like, I thought rollout was like the coolest thing ever. It was just, yeah, I don't know, but I stuck with Samus because she was the most fun, and that was pretty much it.
Okay. Did you watch videos, or did you just kind of come up with your own style? Like what kind of? Because like everybody kind of picks a main. You know, you mentioned the fire thing, but then once you kind of get into competitive play, you start watching videos, and that kind of starts to influence you. Like, were there any players that were like that for you?
I was a really, really big West fan for a little while.
And by
'Cause
West, we mean the old school New York West.
DA West.
Yeah.
Because I was like, he's so aggressive and cool, and like he was like one of the best players like of all time from what I saw. Um, and then like Hugo beat him, and then I was like, okay, I guess like this Hugo guy is pretty, like this Hugs guy is pretty good. And then like Wes retired, and then Hugo, like I used to be the biggest Hugo fan. I was a huge Hugo fan. I loved like everything that he did. I was like, this guy's so amazing. He's so smart. Everything he does is like super optimal, and it was just like, I don't know. I was a really big fan.
Hugo doesn't know that, right?
Maybe I don't. I don't know
Please
if he
don't
knows.
let him know that.
But yeah, back in the day, Hugo was definitely like my Sam's inspiration. But he semi-retired around the time, like around 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
yeah, Hugo sort of just dropped off, and so there was nobody left. Um, there was I guess for Samus players there was like Fana. I have Spaceballs, who I thought I have Spaceballs was a terrible player and that he got by just with cheese. But now that I'm a better player, I realize like the mix-ups that he was going for. But at the time, I thought he was just like fucking ridiculous. Um, and then there was like Rat from Chicago, if anybody remembers who that is.
Oh, I love Rat.
Yeah, and so I just like I stole a bunch of stuff from all of the Samuses,
Hey, can
and
I ask you something about Midwest? Why there's silly goose, there's a duck, there's a moose, and there's a rat. Why are you guys all animals for tags?
Okay, so it's actually just a huge coincidence. Um, so when Moose, so I don't remember how Moose got his tag. I think it was because he was in like, yeah, I don't remember how he got his tag, but I got my tag because when I was told I had to pick one, so I went into the Melee random name generator, and I hit random until Duck came up, and the joke was that I crouch canceled a lot, so I ducked a lot, you know. Um, uh, and so we just became Moose and Duck, and we teamed a lot. And then it's like, oh, Duck is an animal. So our team name back when team names were like a thing, like El Chocolate Diablo with Ken and Isaiah. We were Team Duck Duck Moose, and I thought that was hilarious.
So you're a memer.
I'm not a memer. I am very serious.
All right. Well, I'll take your word for it now. So you know you play with Moose. You know back in the day. I mean he's still a pretty good player, but you know you're like this. What were your expectations going into Big House? Because that was probably like the first pretty big tournament with out of region talent coming in.
So Big House won, right? At like around that time period, was like when I was like becoming like the best player in Michigan, right? And the only characters I lost to were Sheik and Puff. And so in my mind, I was the best player in the world against Fox. There was a 0% chance of me losing to Fox. I thought I was like amazing. So I went into Big House like, all right, I'm gonna like I'm just gonna beat everybody. I'm gonna win. It's gonna be awesome. Clearly that didn't happen. I beat SFAT actually. That was super funny. And from what I've heard, NorCal gave him shit about it for like years for
Oh,
losing.
we definitely did.
Just some random Samus kid from Michigan. And then like I got bodied by SJ. I got bodied by Lovage. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. It was cool. It introduced me to the big stage. Like people like knew who I was, and that was like an interesting experience for me.
Did you kind of expect that to happen though? Because Lovage and SJ had all the Samus experience and theory in the world.
I didn't really think about that at the time. I was just like, I thought I was amazing. Very clearly, I wasn't. But yeah, I didn't really think about that at all. It was just like I finally get to play good people, and if I beat them, then that means I'm good too.
It was close though. You had your moments. I remember you had that down air on the top platform.
Yeah, the down air forward smash where, yeah, it was like the juiciest down air I've ever done in my life. Until like a fully charged forward smash. That was hilarious. People started calling that like the duck. But I actually stole that from Spaceballs. I saw him do it a bunch in combos, but he always did it as like a read. And basically, while I was playing, I was like, oh my god, this move actually covers 100% of all options if I time it correctly. And so I'm pretty sure I was the first person to do it, like to hit it with that 100% consistency as a tech chase.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's still better than Hugo's combos off of platforms. So your combo game in 2011, although I recently read on Hugo's wall like violence going in on Hugo's punish game.
Yeah, so like violence. Violence is probably my biggest fan. I think he thinks I'm really good, which is strange.
Dude, did you read his Big House post in the Shouts thread from like 5 years ago?
I didn't.
All right.
I don't
Anyway,
remember.
go on.
Okay, but basically, he watches a ton of my videos, and so he knows like the flowchart that I go through for like basically my punish game. He can basically mimic my punish game like to an extent. And so he basically like told Hugo everything that I would have done in those situations. Um, and like I tell Hugo this stuff all the time, right? But Hugo doesn't really listen to me. He's a very stubborn person.
Does that make you sad?
A little bit. Sometimes it makes me sad.
Because like you're like you view them as like a hero, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like I can help him out, and he's not. I feel like you're that nerdy kid from Incredibles in the beginning of the movie, but because he didn't listen to you, like you became like this like evil supervillain that makes
Oh
fun
no,
of Prince Abu.
I did not talk to Hugo at all until I was like very very good at the game. Uh, I was definitely like starstruck by people that are really good. So I basically just didn't talk to them. I was like that guy that just like sort of stood around awkwardly and like
So
said hi.
what? I want to hear this. What was your first interaction with Hugo? Was that at Kings of Cali?
Yeah. I think that was the first time I met him in real life, and I beat him, and that was like a really weird thing for me to have happen. I think we talked on Smashboards a couple of times, but yeah, it was just really really weird for that to happen.
I think that's pretty funny because that's one thing that Hugo prided himself on was like never losing Samus to those. And here you are, this punk little Asian kid does it.
Yeah.
So I found the post. I found the post, by the way, from Violence. Do you want me to read it to you?
Yeah, go ahead.
So he says a bunch of shouts to the Midwest, and then Violence goes, "And now I have to eat my words." I said many times that there would not be a Samus in the top 10. And as a Samus man, I personally did not think there was a Samus attending this tournament who was capable of such things. I referred to Samus versus Johnny S2J as an impossible matchup, and I didn't think anyone would take games against Oscar and Zach, much less win a set. I was clearly wrong. Doc, your Samus is insane. Your spacing is insane. Your reads are insane. Your edge guarding is insane. It is an amalgam of solid fundamentals taken to a high level. Please do yourself, the Midwest, and the rest of the community a favor and attend Apex. More people will have to see your Samus.
Oh my
Violence.
god. That's that's really really over the top. But yeah, like I feel like Violence has thought this like since that tournament. So he's thought that I've been good for a very long time, and I don't feel like I've matched up to like I don't feel like I've matched up to that like even remotely. Like still, I don't think I'm as good as Violence thinks I am. So it's really weird. And he's my good friend too, which is even weirder. But yeah,
He just loves the Samus mains, man.
yeah, he does.
So, so you go to Apex, it doesn't really pan out for you, right?
Oh no, I got destroyed. I don't even remember. Oh, I lost to Drug Fox. That's who I lost to. I lost to Drug Fox. I clearly remember how I lost actually. We were on Yoshi's story. I grabbed him in the middle of Yoshi's story at 120%, and I up throw him, and I'm like, I just won. I get to be in top 32 of Apex. And then I double jump and I forward air by accident instead of nair. And so I forward aired. He gets out, and then he like back airs me a couple of times, and then I just lose, and then that's my tournament run. And that was the saddest I've been in a really really long time, because Drug Fox at the time was even cockier than he is now.
Is he that cocky, though?
Yes. Well, it's like measured cockiness. Like he's correct, sort of. But right before Apex, he knew he was gonna play me, and so apparently him and Moose had talked on Facebook about how terrible Samus is as a character and how free he talked about how free I was gonna be in his pool, and it was just gonna be super easy. He was just gonna steamroll me, and yeah, I lost. So it feels bad when people shit talk you and then they beat you.
Ah, ah, ah. Hey, but did he give you props for like making it close?
No.
Oh, he was like, oh, like, yeah, this random Samus named Duck, like I bopped him and like I wasn't even playing that good, and I still
Yeah,
won.
yeah. He does. It's like the Sammy thing.
Okay, damn. It's funny because you guys still play each other and you guys still trade sets in 2016. It's funny how that works.
Yeah, no, it was weird because I played him at Apex and then I didn't play him again until Evo. Yeah, until Evo 2014. Yeah, until Evo 2014, and then he beat me there. So I was 0-2 lifetime, but that was with his Sheik.
Hmm. So now you're. I don't know. What was your impression after that event? Because that was your first national. You went to a region. You did well in your hometown, and there's kind of this saying that Midwest only does well in their own region, and when they go out of region, they go bop. So like, what kind of panned out from there?
Um,
Like, how'd you feel, and like, what did you want to do after like Apex 2012, where your placing was so bad that there's not even a number for you on Smash Wiki for that event.
Apex 2012, was that which one was that?
Apex 2012.
Yeah.
Is that the one you lost to Sammy in?
I think I maybe. No, because that one I got 33rd.
You got 33rd at 2015 Apex.
um, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so basically, after I lost to Sammy and I was out, I was just really, really mad. And but I still had to be there day 3, right? Because top 32 is day 3. And I actually made it into doubles, top 16. I think I got ninth with Tech Zero in teams. That was amazing. That was so much fun. But I got there on day 3, super, super salty, and I literally money matched almost every single person that made it like into the actual bracket, and I beat a lot of them. Like, I beat PC Chris. I beat Leffen. I actually lost to J-Man when J-Man was using somebody else's controller. That was pretty funny. But it was basically like I just got this drive to just become better. Just because I was just so salty.
So you needed that. You needed that to drive you. Because if it was easy, you wouldn't have been practicing.
No, 100%. I needed that loss. I needed to get like beat down into the ground to realize that I'm nowhere near as good as I think I am, and that like there's levels to this. Like I couldn't even make it into bracket. How could I be expected to like win, right?
That's fair. That was my salty event because I went 3-1 in pools and didn't make it out. And
Oh, I remember that. You were one of three-way ties. I think it was you. You were one. I think Hugo was another one, but Hugo made it out. So somebody else in his pool got screwed. And then HBK. Wait, or
it was
was
like
it?
the ice. It was the pool with ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-man pools. Dude, I lost one set the entire tournament and got eliminated.
Yeah, no, that's Apexes are bad, dude.
That was my
Were
salty
bad.
event.
They're real bad.
So, after that event, you start. There weren't that many events, in 2012, 2013 in general. Like we weren't traveling every other month or every other week. But I mean, for the most part, you started going to like most events. You went to like all the big houses. You go to like some majors here and there. So like, how's that grind? Because there are a lot of ups and a lot of downs for you.
Um, the grind has been I don't really know because like I really enjoy playing the game, um, and so I enjoyed traveling for it. It didn't really feel like a grind. It was just like this never-ending drive to become a better and better player. Um, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I guess that's my answer. It was a lot of fun.
So in this process, it seems like you came in an era where all the Midwest kind of old school players were kind of taking a break because like Dreffen was out, Dark Rain kind of came here and there, Kells was kind of there, Dart here and there. Like so, like kind of like who are your measuring sticks in your local in like your region?
I didn't really have measuring sticks. Not in that sense, but
Who are your like rivals? I guess.
it was just Moose, in Michigan, and Kels, I suppose. Kels was still playing, and he was beating me pretty badly, because he would just pick Sheik, and then at the time I didn't know the matchup at all, so I just got shield grabbed, down throw forward aid, like just over and over and over again. I just lost. Um, but actually roomed with Moose, and there were days where like we would just play Smash, and that was like the day. Like we would play Smash, eat, and then like play Smash, and then go to sleep, and like that was the entire day. Um, and so like that happened a couple times, and like I don't know if you've had like a practice partner for like a really long time, but you guys like stop really playing the matchup and you start going for like super player specific reads. And so there were some days where I would just get completely annihilated and I'd just be really mad. And then there were days where I'd completely annihilate him and he'd be really mad. And like that was a big part of it was I really don't want to lose to my best friend at this game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
he
and so
does he do really well against Samus in general, or is he just more of a anti-duck?
he did. He was really amazing against Samus for a while, but yeah, I don't know if he remembers everything about it. But he definitely beat Rat whenever Rat came over. So yeah, I'd say he's pretty good against Samus. He didn't lose to any Samuses except me, but he never got to play Hugo.
Okay. Well, that could be a pretty close thing. So, we're kind of going, and you've gone sponsored. You've what do you think the biggest jump has been, especially within the last year, where like you're kind of teetering around like the 20s, mid I would say like mid 20s is a pretty fair assessment of you last year. So now like you're teetering in the teens, like ELO numerical ratings really favor you, and you're the guy that constantly gets like ninth or 13th. Like you're consistent at placing pretty high. You're not getting like 33rds anymore. So like, what do you think are the differences this year?
I'm just smarter. I'm not lazy anymore. I actually hate I think laziness is
Well, what do you mean by lazy? How does that manifest itself in gameplay?
like knowing exactly what's happening and why it's happened. Um, I can tell you that for the matchups that I play, I know exactly why everything happened. I know the reason why I did what I did. I know the reason why they did what they did, and I can say that I outplayed them in this situation. That or like they just went for coverage and they happened to be right, or they went for a hard read and they were right. It's just stuff like that, like really figuring out why things happen, and like optimizing it, like based on like I know they're going to want to do this, so I'm going to switch my playstyle up and do this.
Can you give a tangible example? Like, I don't know, let's say something against like Fox.
Okay, so Fox, pretty easy one is what does the Fox do when he's in the corner, and what are his options in the corner? Is this a fox that's confident in ledge dashing? Is this a fox that likes to jump? Is this a fox that likes to fight his way out? Do I have moves that can cover multiples of these options? Like depending on like when he jumps or like what I can react to, what I have to do preemptively. I know all of this for when Fox is cornered. KJH just goes to the ledge like almost 100% of the time, but other foxes will do other things. And like I feel like we're at a point where people should know all of this, right? Already, just because we've been playing the game for so long, you should know all of these options and that they exist. Anytime any tech comes out for another character, I immediately try to apply it to Samus, um, to see if it works or if it's applicable. If it's not, then it's not. If it is applicable, then then I add it to my repertoire of options. And that's what I mean by not being lazy. I know way more about Smash now than I used to, and I can apply that knowledge, which is really important.
So like, so how do you get to that? What's your routine to unlazify yourself? Be smart.
Uh,
Like, because it's easy to say, oh, you should just be smart about the game. But conceptually speaking, it's like, oh yeah, that sounds like an amazing idea. But what does that look like in the day to day of Duck as he's prepping?
Anytime you find something to complain about, find a solution. Complaining about something is 100% wasted brain power. You should be looking for an answer instead. Sometimes, especially when you're playing a worse character, the answer is just you can't win, so just avoid this at all costs, or like just shield, just run away, and there's no way you can get like a counter hit out. That's just something that happens, just depending on your character. But that's really the starting point. Like, figure out why you're losing. Don't just complain about losing. Like, you're losing for reasons. Like, there are very solid, concrete reasons that you're losing. You just have to figure those out. And like, I guess to show you how this works out is my Falcon problem. And I complain about it incessantly. Do you know how much I spent a lot of time trying to figure things out, but not with the right mindset. I was always like, whenever I was looking for something, a part of my brain was always saying, "Oh, Falcon just wins. He can just press buttons, and all his moves will just be yours. It's completely impossible. There's nothing you could do." But now that I went Marth. It was a good trial period, and I learned a lot. But it's basically like reset my mind on like how I think about the matchup. Falcon's not as indomitable to me as I used to think, and like I've been able to explore more options because of that.
So losing to Wizzy was like your 2012 Sammy experience.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good loss. I learned a lot.
So, I mean, that's kind of an interesting thing, right? Because you play an upper mid tier level player or character, and how often do you kind of struggle with that question of, well, damn, like I wish I started playing Sheik or like Plup or like playing Fox, you know, like how often does that cross your mind?
The lowest point in my Smash career, the last time I very truly looked at that question was SmashCon last year. I got like 49th or something insane, and the SmashCon talent pool was like very small. I lost to Laud, who's a Peach player, in a matchup where I think I'm the best in the world at that matchup. And I lost to Minty in a Samus Ditto, who's a player from Long Island who happens to play the Samus matchup a lot against Bubba, I think. This is another non-Long Island Samus player. But yeah, it was at that moment where I was like, I'm a better player than both of these people, but I lost. Why? And I was like super depressed for the entire day. I like didn't say anything. I was just super sad. And I very, very heavily considered just picking another character. Yeah, somebody says Bubble King in the chat. But I very seriously considered switching characters. Cause like if I'd gone Sheik against Minty, I'm pretty sure I would have won. Or like I could have gotten Fox too. Well, maybe not Fox, but I could have gone Sheik and I think I would have won. But basically, the reason I didn't do that was I lost to a Samus Ditto. Like, what are my excuses for losing a Samus Ditto? Like, they're the same character. There isn't like a degenerate strategy that they have. Yeah, there isn't like a degenerate strategy in the Samus Ditto where the worst player will just beat the better player. It's just a complete lack of knowledge. And against Laud, it was me going in like way too confident that I was going to win. I was way, way too confident. I didn't respect him at all. I just went for like really dumb options because I was like, I'm just gonna roll over this guy. And so like that helped me a lot too with my mentality, with my laziness. Yeah, that had to happen. That low point had to happen, I think.
So beating Prince of Boo so many times kind of ruined your mentality.
Um, I maybe. Yeah, like when I played against Tech in DreamHack, I definitely expected to just be able to press buttons and win, and that didn't happen. And after that loss, I was able to like very quickly switch it up. I basically that's like I played amazing that tournament, I think. Yeah, I played amazing, and then I ended up getting fourth, which is I think still my highest placing at a national ever. Um,
Hmm.
uh, so yeah, it's just like recognizing like why you're losing is really important.
So it's like pretty much like you need these reminders because in 2016, like you don't respect your opponent, you can just like randomly lose in pools now. That's kind of like the nature of like 2016 melee.
Yeah, because like respect is really all about the neutral game, I think.
Yeah.
Like it's the one aspect of your game that'll change depending on who you play. Your punish game is like the same whatever, and the punish game is something that you can like really grind out and just like figure out. It's like it's pretty flowcharty for a lot of characters for a lot of like the common matchups. And so if you're being lazy, uh, yeah, sometimes you can just lose because once you get hit, like you're just like another character. There isn't really anything that you can do to like transcend your character. Like, if a fox gets grabbed by a Mutaking, it doesn't matter what fox it is. They're just gonna get hit. If I down smash a fox, it doesn't matter which fox it is. They're still just gonna get hit.
Right. So going up ahead, are we gonna see the Marth come out again against Falcon?
It's 100% done. It was a good experiment, and I learned a lot from it. But Marth actually, in that matchup specifically, Marth suffers from a lot of the same problems that Samus has, where Marth can't force things to happen.
Yeah.
He still has to wait for Falcon, and that's I'm just really not a fan.
I mean, that's how most characters have to deal with Falcon.
Yeah, and so it's not fun. And like Wizzy made that very apparent, right? He just dash danced. He waited for me. I whiffed a move, and he just killed me. Um, and so I might as well play the character that I enjoy, right?
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. So, I mean, what are your like goals? Because like SFAT, at the beginning of summer when I interviewed him, he was like, "I want to win a major by the end of summer," and he got really close. He got second at Smash Summit, and I'm just kind of wondering like what your goals and aspirations of pursuing melee. It's a big part of your life.
My goal is, I guess, like pretty much everybody else. I want to be the best, but like you have to take steps, right? Like you didn't the people that invented the airplane didn't go out to invent the airplane. They invented a lot of things. Like there were a lot of steps before that had to be completed. And so my initial goal for this year was to be a top 20 player. I'm pretty sure I've done that. I've done that at this point. My next goal would be to become a top 10 player or top 8 in America. It's actually really funny because I've top 8 in Canada and Sweden, but I've yet to top 8 in American tournament. It's really weird.
Hmm. Who do you think are like the biggest roadblocks to you
Um,
right now, other than the usual Falcons?
I really think it's just Falcons. It's just the Falcons right now. The Falcons and Plup, I guess. Yeah, it's just the Falcons and Plup. Like if you remove all of my Falcon games from my record, I think my record is really, really good. But when you include those, it drops me by a lot, and so that's like just a very clear roadblock for me. I don't want to have to go to a tournament and rely on bracket luck to do well. Um,
Hmm. Well, what about the gods?
um, I think I'm one of the few people that can pretty consistently take games off of them. I think if I get enough chances, I can win, basically, like against all of them.
Hmm.
I just need to earn more chances. And like getting rid of the Falcon problem is definitely what I have to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like that. It's like a really hard level, and then you're like you may not get to the boss fight very often because of how hard
Yeah.
the level is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can like, open up the floor. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna ask you some questions. So, what do you think about the different Samuses? Because I want to pick your brain on this,
The different
like
Samuses.
how they play, strengths, weaknesses, and then we'll ask you about like your own. Although we
Okay.
kind of talked about it. What do you think about like Pleb Samus when he still had played Samus? Like,
Um,
what does he do well? Like,
Pluck pressures, I think, better than everybody else because he's really good at mixing up when he does things and does nothing, and so he can he leaves himself openings where he can react to like people jumping or like he'll preemptively put out something safe that covers jump, and so their only answer to that is hold shield, and a lot of people don't like to just hold shield for like 2 seconds. And he's amazing at that. He also has a lot of like really creative ways of like charge shotting people. I guess more so than me and Hugo. I basically only use charge shot either as coverage, as a way to force people to do something, or like as a hard read or something guaranteed. Plup just does call outs and he's right a lot of the time. In situations where I would just never ever do that. Hugo, on the other hand, he's patient, but a lot of his neutral is like not doing things, versus where Plup has like pulses of doing things and not doing things. A lot of Hugo's is just not doing things, and then he'll occasionally just go for a super hard read in neutral. Like he conditions people in neutral. Like he does the same thing like non-committally over and over again, and then he'll just super hard call something out. And it works when it works. When it doesn't work, it looks really bad. Um, and Hugo's punish game is not up to par. Um, yeah, it's just not up to par.
so you're saying like, so it seems like you're telling me that he needs to be a little bit more proactive, and the punish game stuff.
Mm, I don't really know about being more proactive. Like, so I'm a really strong proponent of if you like your playstyle, whatever you have, as long as you're good enough with it, even if it started off really scrubby, you can do it. You can still do it. Like my I think my playstyle is horrible. I don't think anybody should copy what I do. But it works for me just because I'm really good at it. It's the same thing for Mango, right? He's just really good at it, but if you try to do it, it doesn't work because you're not good at it. Like you should do what's natural to you.
I see.
And so I don't think he should be more proactive in his neutral. I think he could improve it. Similarly, like I could improve my neutral. But I don't think there's like a specifically right way to play Samus because Samus's matchups are basically all losing anyways. If you're playing a matchup correctly, quote unquote, you're going to lose. That's just how it is. But his punish game is something that's really easy to fix, and yeah, I think that's what he should be working on.
Makes sense. Who do you like to play the most? Like out of everybody, like what's your dream rotation?
Who do I like playing? The dream rotation would be me, Mango, and Plup on a rotation. I think that'd be awesome. Just because like
Go ahead.
Plup, they're both amazing versus Samus. They both have tons and tons of anti-Samus specific tech that other people don't have. The way Mango plays, when you play against Mango, he has like this toolbox of so much stuff, and like I feel like when I play against him, it's like I'm playing against like 5 different foxes at the same time, just because he's just because he has all these options that he actively does, versus other foxes who know that the option exists but they don't do it. And then Plup, on the other hand, is just really good against Samus. He does all of the degenerate stuff, all of the the things that quote unquote make Samus unviable. And so I think that would be the best learning environment for me.
Interesting. No, it's because like a lot of it's interesting because Plup, used to main Samus, so he's probably experienced a lot of, that oppressive stuff himself, and he's like, I'm gonna do it to other people so they know how I suffer.
No, I've definitely reverse mained some people, and I'm the most degenerate Fox player that I know, I think.
Because you play like Kalindi a lot.
Yeah, and so like I don't have the tech skill of Kalini, but I can do like the one level lower version of that. Like I can ledge dash, so I can do all of that. But I don't have like the shine out of shields. I don't have like the perfect like wave shines and stuff like that. But like I can do like the backers. I can do the laser camping. I can do like the aerials into shield. I can just be super super annoying and platform campy, and it's just really degenerate, and it's hilarious playing against Fox mains who think they can play Samus.
Do you have people that I was just gonna say, what does Prince of Booth think about playing you?
It changes depending on the day. Yeah, it depends on the day. Sometimes he hates Samus, and he actually hates Samus a lot, just because I've beaten him, and he thinks the matchup is like even or like Puff barely wins. But yeah.
I see. So we're gonna transition into questions from the group, and just as a reminder, I'm doing this largely to give Duck more publicity so that he has a shot at Smash Summit. So I posted up a link, and if you guys are interested in voting for Duck, and you want to see a Samus presence, you want to see Midwest presence at the event, go ahead and click the link and support him. Okay, so we're going to go through some questions. So what's your plan against Falcon? How are you going to lab it?
I've labbed a lot of stuff, actually. I've labbed a lot of edge guarding. I've labbed a lot of like neutral options. I guess if anybody has watched my stream for the last couple of times, I do that lab stuff, and like if you want to learn about Samus, you can watch me stream. But yeah, I've labbed a lot of options. That's pretty much it. I've tested a lot of things where I'm not sure, like, is this option only winning because of human error, or like, is this just a straight up bad option? Did this only work because I was lucky and I hit on the perfect one frame where it works? Yeah, it's just more and more knowledge about the matchup, so I know exactly why things are happening.
So CTL says, who's your favorite team's partner, and what is your favorite team combo with him?
My favorite team's partner. I really like teaming with KJH. I think it's fun. And we play Samus Fox. But I guess I like teaming with him just because I usually know what he's going to do, and like it's really easy to talk it out since I've known him for so long. But he gets really, really emo about teams, and so yeah, sometimes it's not the greatest. Like he went a pretty long time not entering team tournaments at all, but he was like slowly getting back into it. But I guess as a more general thing, like Samus's best team comps, I think, are Samus Fox, then Samus Sheik, then Samus Puff. And Samus Falco is really, really good, but it's completely different from any other team in the game, like, to play. And so it requires, like, a lot of hours. I team with Moose, and we did all right at DreamHack, but yeah. So, yeah.
How about teaming with Mango?
Team with Mango was weird. Yeah, I don't really know. It was just a very weird experience. It was unlike any team It was unlike any teams like sets I've ever played teaming with him. It was just really weird. Um, I would have to team with him more to really give a concrete answer.
I see. Hood Falco asks, to Duck, how many characters do you think are viable? Do you think Yoshi, for example, could do as well as Samus?
So okay, so Armada talks about this a lot too. It depends on your definition of viable. Um, by viable, do you mean it's possible for them to win
Well, I'll let you
a?
define it, and then we can go from there.
Okay, so I think for viable to me is somebody who can win a tournament where everybody's there and everybody's playing well. Um, Armada's definition is somebody who is a character that can win always, no matter what. And that's not, yeah, that's not my definition. So I think Samus is viable. Armada doesn't think Samus is viable for that reason. But I think Yoshi's viable. I think, let's see. I think, well, okay, so there's obviously the top eight. I think the top eight are viable. And then Samus can win it. Samus can win a national. Yoshi can win a national. And Pikachu can win a national. The other characters, I don't think can. Yeah, but it completely depends on your definition.
Okay, that's fair.
I would say that in terms of consistently winning a national, I do agree with Armada that only five characters can win a national or can win nationals consistently no matter what.
I see. What do you think about the H-Box set at Big House 6?
I did so much bad stuff, like so much bad. I'm ready for the next time we play. I'm very confident that I can beat him if we play again. I did so much bad stuff. I rewatched it like right after, and I just was not patient enough. I didn't wait for my openings. I just kept trying to force them, and that's good sometimes. Like Samus does have to do that, but when he switched, I didn't switch with him. Like when he switched to just jumping into the air and like landing really far away, I didn't switch. I kept going with like jumping forward airs and airs and down airs. When that only works as like a way to beat shielding Puff or like moving forward Puff, I didn't switch, and so that's why it like looked worse as like the set went on, is because I just never made that mental adjustment. And that's something I'll watch out for the next time we play, and I'll be sure to just not let that happen.
Do you think, is that what just makes $100 so difficult? Because if you're like slightly off, that like $100 just kind of runs over you?
I think Hungrybox is really good for a multiple of reasons, and yeah, that's one of them. Is that when he switches, if you don't switch with him, he's gonna just dominate you. Because like just by nature of Puff being Puff, that's what she does. And Hungrybox is really amazing for being able to like recognize those situations. Yeah.
Okay, people want you to talk about Leffen, apparently.
About Leffen? What about what about Leffen?
I don't know. Something blah blah blah. Something Samus. Something Leffen loses.
Oh, okay. So Leffen Samus memes. I think that he's not bad against Samus. Or well, okay, he has flaws in his gameplay against Samus, but he knows the general strategy. And every single time that we've played, he has not played well. Like, he's messed up things outside of just matchup things. Like, he's messed up type skill. He's messed up, like, very basic guaranteed stuff. He's, like, been mentally broken. He's never played well when we've played. But I think his knowledge base, I guess, for Samus, like the basics, he knows that. There's specific stuff that he doesn't know.
And do you think that plays a large part into like why he seems to be losing to Samus in particular, more so than other characters?
Mm, I think it's just bad luck that on the days that he was playing that he played me twice, or like he played me both times that happened. Like the tournaments where I beat him, he also got upset. So it's not like he was playing amazing and then he lost to me. It was that he was playing bad that day and he lost to me.
Okay, and you got the scraps.
Yeah. I got to play him on like a bad day. Like when we played at DreamHack, right? Um I got to play him right after he lost to West Balls. And so he was not like at his 100% mentally because he had just lost to West Balls, which is an upset, and they shit talk each other all the time. Um, and so he just didn't play well, and he killed himself at the end of like game 4. Similarly at EGLX, this was after he lost to Axe. Same thing, just not playing his best.
I see. So you think that it would be a lot closer? He might be able to beat you. He's at like quote unquote like his.
Yes, on his good day versus my good day, I think would be a lot closer, and he could win.
What are you part of Team Chichoji?
Oh, Chitoge.
Chitoge. What is that?
She's there's an anime or a manga called Nisekoi, where this dude basically has a lot of love interests, and in the end he picks Chitoge, and I agree with that decision, but a lot of other people don't agree with that decision. But yeah, team Chitoge.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so since Summit is in the kind of goal here, what makes you a good Mafia player, Duck?
What makes me a good Mafia player? I'm not the greatest Mafia player.
Dude, speaking of which, we had to do our best to save you that one time when it was Toph, me, and you.
Oh yeah.
Dude, you could not hold it in, man.
I'm not a good liar, and the engineer in me is not a fan of like just saying things for the sake of saying them. Or I guess not the engineer in me, just me. I'm not a fan of just saying things for the sake of saying them. Which is literally all Mafia is. You just say things. But I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. But Toph definitely carried. He won like by himself basically, right? He said he pretended to be. He realized that you guys killed the detective, and so he pretended to be the detective and killed everybody else, right?
Yeah, we said K equals cop because there's 4 letters revealed. It was K C O
Oh
E
yeah.
E in the equal sign.
Well, okay, so in that situation, I have no idea what I'm supposed to say because it was C and K, and then I just had no idea what to to say.
You were kind of screwed. And it was
Like I
funny
don't know.
because it wasn't even supposed to be for you. It was supposed to be C9 equals OK.
Yeah, like what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say for that? Everybody was basically like, "Yeah, okay, Duck is clearly Mafia." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do there.
Dude, you should have just looked at the way the paper ripped. That's how I deflected you for a while. Because the C and the K couldn't be next to each other because of how the paper was ripped.
Hmm. Yeah, okay, that's true.
I almost saved you there, man.
Well, so one thing that I am good at is noticing people's like ticks, I guess, or habits that are outside of the ordinary. Like so when we played Mafia, I knew that, or I had a very good suspicion that S2J was Mafia just because he was doing things that were slightly out of character. Similarly, Wobbles, while people were talking, Wobbles kept looking around at other people, like he knew what was happening. And so I was pretty sure that those two were Mafia. I think the other Mafia person was Ice. Oh yeah, Ice and PPU. I had no idea. But yeah, like observing people is a lot of fun. But like being forced to talk about it, or to like talk about nothing is just, I don't know. It's weird.
So you feel like you're a good towns player.
Yeah, I think I'm a pretty decent towns player. As long as like, I mean, if somebody calls me out and says that I'm Mafia, I'm not really gonna know what to say except I'm not Mafia, right?
Dude, yeah, you crack. You're a cracker, man. So I guess, why what would you be willing to do to get into the Smash Summit 3? Why should people vote for you?
People should vote for me because I'm one of the few not lazy people in the community. I'm actually like trying to become better, and I actually use all of the experience that's given to me versus other people who are there, like, and they just play, right? It's very different for somebody who's just going there to play and going somewhere to learn. I'm also one of the few people that I think that actually has a chance at beating the gods. Um, I think that there are people on the list that don't have a chance, or like there's no reason to believe that, like since they've been given so many chances that they'll beat the gods anytime soon. I've had very few chances, and I've done well every single one of my chances. I feel like, except against Hungrybox, you can debate whether or not I did well or not. I think I got him down to last stock every time, and it was possible for me to have won every game. But yeah, like when I played Mewtwo King, I played Mewtwo King. The last time I played Mewtwo King, it was Game 5, and I definitely could have won that one. Um, and like I took Mango to Game 4 last time we played. Uh, I played Armada at Evo, two very, very, very close games. Yeah, I think I have a chance, and there are some people that are going to waste the opportunity, and they're going to get in just because they're fan favorites, and they don't really have like a really good chance, or like they don't believe that they have the ability to do it.
Hmm. What are you willing to do? Are we gonna
Um,
see selfie pics again?
if if I have to, maybe. Uh, yeah, if I have to, maybe. Or I guess for everybody that's here, I have something in the works. Um,
Ooh, you! I love
yeah, I,
secrets.
I have something in the works.
Can you give us this? Can you give us a hint?
No, I can't. But I have something in the works. It should be coming out. It should be coming out Wednesday.
Oh, okay, it's a video.
As long as I don't get eliminated before Wednesday, people will see what I got.
Your your last video was pretty fire on the ESAM.
Yeah, people people actually still come up to me and say that they think the video is hilarious. But yeah, hopefully this new one's better than the last one.
So you're rapping.
I'm not going to give away any details.
Well, so if you were not rapping, then you would have said no. So I'm gonna say that you're doing a diss track. Thank.
I'm just going to say that I'm not going to give away details. That was going to be my response no matter what.
Oh, this guy is intelligent, man. Covers all the options, conditions you in a certain way to believe something is a 50-50. Like, I thought that my call out was a guaranteed punish, but he's making it sound like it's a 50-50. These evil Samus mans. Evil. Well, I mean, do you have anything else you want to add?
Um, I don't know. Just vote me in for Summit. I'll do
Okay.
well. I want a shot at the gods. Hopefully, if you're on the fence about voting, my video will push you over the edge. Uh, yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for coming on. We will, hopefully you make it to Wednesday because I want to see that video. So if that's an incentive to help Duck survive till Wednesday, there you go. He's gonna release something on Wednesday. Alrighty.